Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Go Forth Report. So today on the news docket, we have Jussie Smollett, who was been relinquished of all charges at this point, and the case is sealed. There's nothing out there for us to actually really talk about outside of the outrage that seems to be happening right now with the city police department in Chicago. And CNN actually has a really good rundown on here of just everything that's happened on here. But my thing with this is that it says Smollett's court records have been sealed, his attorney says. I have no idea what occurred in this case and why it occurred. I can just say things seem to spiral somewhat out of control. We've gotten to a result that is the right result, this case, and we're happy for that, Holmes said. So at this point, there's nothing new that's going to end up happening with Smollett. Smollett is done. You see the Empire people out there actually tweeting, the Empire writers actually tweeting about the fact that they are happy about this and that we will see them on Wednesday. And honestly, look, if he didn't do something, fine, great. But the problem with this is it's similar to the whole Trump-Russia collusion. There's nothing in there that specifically says that there was no collusion with Trump-Russia. It actually specifically says that there wasn't enough evidence for it. And I think that's where we find this with the Jussie Smollett deal, is that they couldn't build a big enough case for it. And if I can find it on here, right here. So what the actual Cook County prosecutor said on here was, after reviewing all of the facts and circumstances of the case, including Mr. Smollett's volunteer service in the community and agreement to forfeit his bond to the city of Chicago, we believe this outcome is just disposition and appropriate resolution to this case. If you take that at face value, okay, the translation for that ultimately means is that, look, he paid us $10,000 at this point. He's going to do community service, and we're going to have a hell of a time actually proving that this is a legitimate case. All of the evidence that we have out there, the check from the Osundairo brothers and everything the check from Jussie Smollett to the Osundairo brothers was actually set up for fitness training. So right now we don't know exactly what, we have nothing that points to it saying like, hey, this is for assaulting me and making sure that we have a fake arrest on our hands. Yuck, yuck. Let's point that narrative. However, the interesting thing out of all of this is that Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, comes out and saying that this is a whitewash of justice. You have essentially the left eating the left now, where they are just not happy with anything that's going on. And I think that if we watch this video here of Rahm Emanuel, it's actually pretty interesting. So here we go.
I want to say one other thing. Mr. Smollett is still saying that he is innocent, still running down the Chicago Police Department. How dare him? How dare him? After everybody saw, and I want to remind you, this is not the superintendent's word against his. The grand jury, a sliver of the evidence, and they came to a conclusion, as did the state's attorney's office. This is not the superintendent and the detectives department word against his. And even after this whitewash, still no sense of ownership of what he's done. He says that in fact he is the wrong in this case. This is an unbelievable, not just whitewash of justice, this is a person now who's been let off scot-free with no sense of accountability of the moral and ethical wrong of his actions from top.
I think that's the important thing right there, is that Jussie Smollett is coming out saying that he is the victim in all of this, that this was just mishandled by the police and that it's not something that he actually did. Whereas Rahm Emanuel is flat out saying, look, we had a sliver of evidence. The grand jury indicted you on 16 charges almost immediately. The state prosecutors went with it as well. And now you're out there claiming that you were the innocent man. However, to that point, the records are sealed. We don't know. We know that this is not him. That we know that this isn't the prosecutor saying that he didn't do anything. We do, however, know that we don't know anything more because the records are sealed. The judge granted that those records be sealed, and we can't find anything else on here. Let's continue on with Rahm Emanuel.
Top to bottom, not only besmirching the name of the city, but then I cannot stress that in a time when you have people bringing a moral equivalency in Virginia between bigots and those fighting bigotry, then you have a person using hate crime laws that are on the books to protect people who are minorities from violence, to then turn around and use those laws to advance your career and your financial reward? Is there no decency in this man?
Mr. Mayor, do you think that the state's attorney's decision...
That line right there got me as soon as I heard Rahm Emanuel say it. Is there no decency in this man? And he's not wrong. We see this in Virginia with the governor of Virginia, where there are legitimate things that he's done that are blatantly racist in the past. And now we have Jussie Smollett out there seemingly, and I'm not going to say that he did, seemingly looks like that he perpetrated this just to be able to get more money. And that was what we actually found out from the Chicago police whenever they made the announcement. Now, the big problems here is what exactly happened with the police department. I honestly believe that there was some kind of mishandling in this where the police department fudged something up. The prosecutors then at that point said, look, they're going to get him off because of this. But the interesting thing, and this is the other part of this too, is that this all comes one day after the Michael Avenatti deal, where he was trying to extort money from Nike, and Mark Garagos was part of that whole thing too, and Mark Garagos was Jussie Smollett's lawyer. I'm not trying to say that it all ties together. It seems weirdly coincidental that all of it comes down at once, that Mark Garagos is thrown out of the case. Jussie Smollett seems to have taken some kind of deal at this point, seemingly, again. And then all of a sudden we're back here. So I don't know. I just find it kind of interesting on what's going on. But you guys, I'll tell you what, leave me some comments below. I'll be putting out a new video every day just talking about what's going on in our socio-political situation here and just giving daily updates. So thank you for watching and good night from the Go Forth Report.